Thousands of years ago, in the high Andes Mountains, the Inca people revered a particular food. They called it Chisaya Mama, or the mother of all grains. They considered it sacred, a gift from the gods that give their warriors strength and stamina.
Today, that same ancient food, quinoa, is on the shelves of every health food store and supermarket. It's been labeled a superfood. But for millions of people managing diabetes in the 21st century, the question isn't about ancient gods, it's about modern science. Is this mother of all grains truly a friend, or is it just another carb to be wary of?
Welcome to the Healthy Food to Eat podcast, the show that goes beyond the headlines to give you the deep, evidence-based truth about your food.
We're not here to repeat myths or give you a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. Our mission is to unpack the science, layer by layer, so you can understand why a food works the way it does. Today, we're putting quinoa under the microscope.
Before we can even begin to talk about its effects on blood sugar, we need to clear up a common point of confusion. What is quinoa? Most people see it next to rice and couscous and assume it's a grain.
And that's not entirely wrong, but it's not entirely right either, is it?
Precisely. Quinoa is technically a pseudocereal. This means that we cook and eat it like a cereal grain, but botanically, it's not a member of the grass family like wheat, oats, or rice. It's actually the seed of the Chenopodium quinoa plant, which is more closely related to spinach and beets than it is to wheat.
That's a fascinating piece of trivia. But does this botanical difference actually matter from a nutritional standpoint?
It matters immensely. Because it's a seed, not a true grain, its nutritional profile is fundamentally different, particularly when it comes to one of the most important macronutrients for anyone, but especially for diabetics, protein. And we will definitely be dedicating a whole segment to that.
So right from the start, we know we're not dealing with a typical grain. It's in a class of its own.
Okay, let's tackle the first and most pressing question for any diabetic. How does it affect blood sugar? Like all plant-based foods, quinoa contains carbohydrates. And when we talk about carbs and diabetes, we must start with the glycemic index, GI.
As a quick refresher for our listeners, the GI is the 0 to 100 scale measuring how fast a carb food turns into sugar in your blood. High GI foods cause a rapid spike. Low GI foods cause a slow, gentle rise. Where does quinoa land?
Cooked quinoa has a glycemic index of about 53. This places it firmly in the low GI category. For comparison, white rice could be 73 or higher, and even brown rice is often higher than quinoa, around 68.
So right away, that's a huge win. A GI at 53 means it's a slow-release carbohydrate, which is exactly what you want for stable energy and blood sugar control.
But as we've discussed on the show before, the GI is only half the story. To get the real-world picture, we need to look at the glycemic load, GL, which accounts for the portion size. A 1-cup serving of cooked quinoa has a glycemic load of about 13, which is considered medium.
Let's pause on that. Low GI, but a medium GL. What does that tell us in practical terms?
It tells us that while the type of carbohydrate in quinoa is excellent and slow-releasing, portion size is still absolutely critical. Quinoa is a nutrient-dense food, not a free food that you can eat in unlimited quantities. A medium GL of 13 is still very manageable and far better than most other grains, but it highlights that a controlled portion is key.
All right, let's move beyond the carbs to what really makes quinoa stand out in the plant kingdom. You mentioned protein earlier. It's often called a complete protein. What does that actually mean?
It's a crucial distinction. Our bodies need 20 different amino acids to build tissues, enzymes, and everything else. 9 of these are called essential amino acids, meaning our bodies can't make them, we have to get them from food. Most plant-based foods are incomplete, meaning they are missing 1 or more of these essential 9.
For example, beans are low in the amino acid methionine, and grains are low in lysine. This is why a classic pairing like rice and beans works so well. Together, they form a complete protein.
Exactly. But quinoa is a superstar because it contains all 9 essential amino acids in significant amounts all by itself. It's one of the very few plant-based sources of complete protein.
Why is this so important for a person with diabetes?
There are 3 huge reasons. First, satiety. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. Eating a protein-rich food like quinoa helps you feel fuller for longer, which can help with weight management, a cornerstone of managing type 2 diabetes. Second, slowed digestion. Pairing carbs with protein slows down gastric emptying, leading to an even more gradual blood sugar rise. With quinoa, the protein is built right in. And third, muscle health. Maintaining lean muscle mass is vital for metabolic health, as muscle tissue is a major consumer of glucose.
Let's talk about another one of quinoa's strengths, fiber. How does it stack up?
It's excellent. One cooked cup of quinoa contains over 5 grams of dietary fiber. That's significantly more than you'd find in the same amount of white rice, and even a good bit more than brown rice.
And it has a mix of both types of fiber, right? Soluble and insoluble. Let's quickly break down what each one does.
Insoluble fiber is what we often think of as roughage. It doesn't dissolve in water. Its main job is to add bulk to stool, which helps with regularity and keeps the digestive system moving. Soluble fiber is the real champion for blood sugar control. It dissolves in water to form a viscous gel in your digestive tract.
And what does that gel do?
It does two amazing things. First, it physically traps some of the sugar and starch molecules, slowing their absorption into the bloodstream. Second, it slows down the entire rate of digestion. It's another natural brake on the system, ensuring that slow, steady release of energy we're always aiming for. This gel also binds with cholesterol particles, helping to lower LDL or bad cholesterol, a huge co-benefit for heart health.
Okay, so quinoa is a low GI carb with complete protein and high fiber. That's an incredible foundation. But the benefits go even deeper, down to the micronutrient level. Let's talk about the specific vitamins and minerals in quinoa that are especially relevant for diabetes.
Let's start with the big one, magnesium. Quinoa is an excellent source of magnesium. A single cup provides about 30% of your daily needs. This isn't just a fun fact, it's critically important. Magnesium is a tow factor in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including many involved in glucose control and insulin action. Low magnesium levels are strongly linked with insulin resistance and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes.
So getting enough magnesium can actually help your body use insulin more effectively. What's next on the list?
Manganese. Quinoa is loaded with it. Manganese is another mineral that plays a key role in glucose metabolism and is essential for the function of enzymes that help protect our cells from oxidative damage, which is often elevated in diabetic states.
Let's talk about two more, iron and zinc.
Right. Iron is crucial for forming hemoglobin, which carries oxygen in our blood. Proper oxygenation is vital for cellular health and energy. And zinc is another all-star for diabetes. It's involved in the synthesis, storage, and secretion of insulin in the pancreas. Zinc deficiency can impair the function of pancreatic beta cells, the very cells that produce insulin. Quinoa provides a healthy dose of both.
Managing diabetes can feel complicated. What to eat? What to avoid? Make it simple with the Ultimate Diabetes Diet Bundle. This printable PDF is an instant download, giving you everything you need to succeed. You'll get a complete 30-day diabetic meal plan to end decision fatigue, a clear diabetic food list so you always know your best options, 120 delicious diabetic-friendly snack ideas, a ready-to-go diabetic grocery list to make shopping a breeze. Stop stressing and start thriving. Click the link to get your instant download today.
Beyond the minerals, quinoa contains high concentrations of powerful plant-based antioxidants called flavonoids. The two most studied and abundant ones in quinoa are quercetin and camphorol.
Those are some sci-fi sounding names. What do they actually do for us?
In simple terms, they are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. We know that chronic, low-grade inflammation is a key driver of insulin resistance and many of the long-term complications of diabetes. Quercetin and camphorol have been studied in animal and test tube models for their potential to protect cells, reduce inflammation, and even exhibit anti-diabetic effects.
So while we can't say eating quinoa will cure anything, we can say it's loaded with natural compounds that science suggests are protective and help fight the underlying inflammation associated with diabetes.
Exactly. It's another layer of benefits that you simply won't find in a highly refined grain like white rice.
This is all fantastic information, but it's only useful if people know how to apply it. Let's create the practical guide to quinoa. Step 1, preparation. I've heard you have to rinse it.
Yes, and this is an important step. Quinoa seeds are naturally coated in a compound called saponin. It has a bitter, soapy taste and is the plant's natural defense against pests. Most packaged quinoa is pre-rinsed, but it's always a good idea to give it a final rinse in a fine mesh sieve under cold running water until the water runs clear. This ensures any remaining bitterness is gone.
And cooking. Is it just like rice?
It's very similar. The standard ratio is 1 part dry quinoa to 2 parts liquid, water or broth. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat to low, cover, and let it simmer for about 15 minutes or until all the liquid is absorbed. Then, the most important step, turn off the heat and let it sit, covered, for another 5 to 10 minutes. This allows it to steam and get that perfect, fluffy texture.
Now for the most critical part, portion size. As we discussed with the glycemic load, portion control is key. A standard serving size is about 1/2 to 1 cup of cooked quinoa. Visually, that's about the size of your cupped hand or a tennis ball.
And how do we build a balanced, diabetic-friendly meal around that portion?
We use the PFF rule, protein, fat, and fiber. Even though quinoa has protein and fiber built in, adding more creates the blood sugar stable meal. For breakfast, a 1/2 cup of quinoa can be a base for a porridge. Add berries, more fiber, a spoonful of chia seeds, fat and fiber, and some walnuts, protein and fat. For lunch, create a quinoa salad. To your cup of quinoa, add chickpeas, protein fiber, chopped cucumber and peppers, fiber, and a lemon tahini dressing, healthy fat. For dinner, use quinoa as a base instead of rice. Serve it alongside a piece of grilled salmon, protein omega-3 fats, and a large portion of steamed broccoli, fiber.
To put everything in perspective, let's do a quick head-to-head comparison. Quinoa versus other common staples.
First up, quinoa versus brown rice.
Quinoa wins on most fronts. It has more protein, it's a complete protein, which brown rice is not. It has more fiber, a lower GI, and a richer micronutrient profile, especially in magnesium and iron.
Next, quinoa versus oats.
This is a closer match, as both are fantastic choices. Oats are famous for their beta-glucan-soluble fiber, which is excellent for cholesterol. Quinoa pulls ahead on protein quality, complete versus incomplete, and its broader range of minerals and antioxidants. It's great to have both in your rotation.
Last one, quinoa versus couscous.
Not even a competition. Most couscous is just tiny pasta made from refined wheat flour. It has a higher GI, very little fiber, and much less protein and nutrients. Quinoa is the clear winner here by a landslide.
All right, after that epic deep dive, let's summarize the key reasons why quinoa is not just healthy, but an exceptional food for diabetics.
First, it's a low GI complex carbohydrate, providing slow, sustained energy without the blood sugar spike associated with refined grains.
Second, it's a rare plant-based complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids, which helps with satiety, weight management, and muscle health.
Third, it's packed with fiber and crucial micronutrients like magnesium and zinc, which are directly involved in insulin function and blood sugar control.
And finally, its powerful antioxidants help fight the chronic inflammation that underlies many diabetic complications.
The verdict is clear. Quinoa is a true superfood in the context of a diabetic diet. But remember, it must be eaten in controlled portions as part of a balanced plate.
We hope this comprehensive guide has empowered you with the confidence and knowledge to make quinoa a regular part of your diet. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe to the Healthy Food to Eat podcast for more deep dives.
And we'll leave you with a simple challenge. This week, try swapping out rice or pasta for a properly portioned serving of quinoa in just one of your meals. See how you feel. Notice your energy levels. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Thanks for listening.